Okay, can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Okay, perfect. So first of all, thanks for attending the session. My name is Abir Ben Hizia. I'm a cybersecurity engineer and the SOC team leader at Octodent. And in today's session, we will answer the following questions. What is security? What is data science? What is cybersecurity data science? How we apply data science and machine learning works together to improve cybersecurity. And I think this point you will like this point a lot since you are machine learning students or AI students. And we will talk also about how Elastic contribute to improve data security. So first of all, who can tell me what is cybersecurity? I want it to be an interactive session, so I want to have answers from your side. Do we have someone that can answer what is cybersecurity? No one?
تقدروا ديزاكتيفيو الميكرو ما
Yes, feel
yeah,
free
you
to.
can, yeah, feel free to reply. But I guess they are always like this. They
Okay,
don't like to, yeah.
they don't want to interact. Okay, perfect. No issue. So security for information technology refers to the method, tools, and personnel used to defend an organization's digital assets. The goal of IT security is to protect data, but also computers, networks, and mobile devices, for example, password attacks, from any malicious behavior. And you will tell me, but protect them really from what? Well, from being disturbed, stolen, and exploited by unauthorized users known as threat actors. And from my short experience, I can tell you that threat actors never take time to breathe. Kinza and Ilham can answer you and confirm to you that point. Robert Mueller said there are two only type of companies, those that have been hacked and others who will be. And
ما ماناش مانعين منها. جاية
no way.
Okay.
And starting from 2020, the risk of being hacked increased because most of the companies, and due to COVID pandemic, they moved a big part of their business to digital markets. Virtualizing the business means having more data flowing in internet. And this also means that the risk of data storing increase, and finding there's threads inside this amount of data is like searching a needle in a headstake. Une aiguille dans une botte de foin. So how to find the threat in this amount of data? Any suggestions? No? Okay. Well, the smartest way is to combine between data science and cybersecurity. But let's first put a definition to data science. Data science is a branch of knowledge that deals with analyzing data. Data scientist looks into the properties of data and data sets to determine authenticity, originality, and security. Elastic is very useful to help and helps a lot in analyzing data. I think you already saw how data can be pre-processed and manipulated using pipelines with painless scripts, and also how we can easily search those data using Elastic query languages. If you combine data science knowledge with a powerful stack like Elastic One, you will boost security, but by predicting various risks, and this is one of the most effective approach to do risk assessment that an organization can take. We will talk later how data science can improve your security. But before that, let's also introduce machine learning concepts. I think you already have all these concepts, but let me do a small reminder. Machine learning is a type of artificial intelligence with the ability to learn and make informed choices from data provided or past experiences. Machine learning continuously improves the accuracy of results as scientists gather and analyze more data. Means the improvement of the result of machine learning depends on the data we have. There is we already know that there is two types of machine learning, the supervised and the unsupervised one. And we will put a definition for both of them when we will talk later about elastic machine learning. But most of you will ask me or will ask themselves why we are talking about data science and machine learning, why the main topic is securing data. Well, that's because to well protect our data, we need to merge all those concepts. The merge is called cybersecurity data science. The central idea behind cybersecurity data science is data security. Cybersecurity data science is a relatively new method of implementing data science to detect, prevent, and reduce cybersecurity threats. Now let's look on how we apply or how applied data science and machine learning works together to improve cybersecurity. There is a lot of scenarios that we can list to show the importance and the benefits of combining the listed concepts. Let's look at few of them. First one is improved intrusion detection and prediction. So hackers use various methods. What does it mean? Hackers use various methods to break into a system and constantly change their tools to avoid detections. Early intrusion detection is crucial, and organizations can leverage data science and machine learning to analyze patterns, manage systems, and predict and prevent future attacks. You can detect loopholes in your security environment before hackers can. معناتها vous pouvez détecter les gaps or les échappatoires في l'environnement تاعكم قبل ما يشوفهم un hacker ولا قبل ما يفيق لهم un hacker. Data protection. Traditional security measures help an organization reduce its susceptibility to attacks, but data science helps reinforce the security measures even further. With applying data science, organizations have the chance to develop implementable protocols via machine learning algorithms. So this is also, let's say, second level that we will add to our daily protocols or daily measures we take or we put in place in our organization to improve our security. Behavior analysis. We commonly utilize behavior analysis a lot within Elastic. While detecting and identifying malware is important, understanding the hacker's behaviors adds an extra level of defense. By leveraging data science and machine learning tools, organizations can consolidate various data sets, identify correlation in systems and network logs, and unveil patterns that facilitate the prediction of hackers' future behaviors. This enables organizations to protect or to proactively implement effective prevention measures. Means they will be proactive. And the last point we can list is more accurate prediction. Using data science, companies can form practical hypotheses about security risk in real-world scenarios. Means rather than relying to educated guesses in a controlled environment, let's say they have an environment, they will take a small, they will make a small copy in a sandbox, but they will have, let's say, restricted behaviors. They will not be following the real world. Well, with machine learning, we can do it. With combining data science and machine learning and the side of cybersecurity, we can improve the real-world scenarios. And this approach allows organizations to gain a clear understanding of their security landscapes, collect data more rapidly from a diverse range of sources, and enhance deep learning and training for malware and spam detections. In this scenario, the result is fewer false positives. We have fewer false positive in spam and malware detections, enabling the establishment of more effective preventive measures. We can spend hours talking about the benefit of having security combined with machine learning and data science. But let's look and see how Elastic contributes on improving data security. So Elastic solution give us the possibility to ingest a huge amount of data, as you know, ignoring the type and the format of those data. For example, we can have structured data, semi-structured data, and unstructured data, and this power lets us in security do a lot or have a lot of abilities. Talking about data, I think you already saw with Mr. Zakaria about how you can import data in Elastic, how you can import it from the Kibana UI, and how you can import it also using data shipper like Bits. And actually, we are going far from Bits, and we are using what we call Elastic Agent with the integrations. And I will show you a small example later, inshallah. Well, when we talk about elastic security and what are the abilities we can do or what we can do with having or manipulating this huge amount of data, elastic solution give us the possibility to ingest the type and the format of those data, any format we want. For example, we can have JSON, let's say, give me other formats, text, any format you want. It's possible to ingest it in Elastic and manipulate it easily. So we can, with Elastic Security, do search operations against those data in real time. And Elastic provides us the ability to do speed, relevant, and scalable searches against petabytes of data. Use petabyte of data for machine learning training, and we can also use petabyte of data for threat hunting. There is several ways to do threat search and detection using Elastic Security. You will tell me, but what do you mean by threat? Let's say we heard or there is some new malware discovered, and we want to check if this malware IOCs are already already exist in our data or no. So this is what we call doing the threat hunt. Means I will search for a specific IOC, a specific indicator in my logs. So there is several ways to do it. In Elastic, we have the first way, which is threat hunting with Elastic detection rules. Well, for the threat hunting using Elastic detection rules, detection is in Elastic. You can imagine them like a search query you will schedule to be run in real time. And if the search match a result, we will be notified. And the notification is what we call alerts. Because detections queries will search for a specific threat in our data. I can show you now how Elastic Security SIEM looks like. Just give me a second. So can you see Elastic or can you see Kibana security part now?
Yeah, we can see.
Okay, perfect. So here in the security part, as you can see, you have different type of dashboards. Each dashboard will display for you a specific type of information. For example, let's look for detection and response dashboard. Let's increase okay, perfect. Here, as you can see, we have in Elastic what we call cases. I will show you what is cases later. But here it can show you how many cases we have open, in progress, or closed statute, and the different cases created. It means the name of the case and the statute and who created the case, etc. Not a lot of information. But let's also have a look to the overview dashboard. The overview dashboard shows you information about logs collected, events, hosts, events, because in Elastic, when you ingest the logs, or let's say we use any log ship like Elastic Agent, for example, to ingest logs to Elastic. They are ingested following ECS schema. ECS means Elastic Common Schema. Elastic Common Schema map the logs you collect to a specific schema based on categories. Means if I have an event in my log that is a file event, it will be mapped to the file category, and the file category means it will have a set. We will have a set of fields that are like file.name will contain the file name, file.hash will contain the file hash, file.path will contain the file path, etc. So here you can see what are the events that are following that are host events, network events, and if you have any threat intelligence integration, you will have also the results displayed here. Let's go and there is a lot of dashboard, but it depends on the integrations you have. You will see also there is something I want to show you, which is the data quality. Means when you ingest your data, you can check if your mapping or if the data you integrate are correct. If there is any error, it will be displayed here, for example, that you have an error and you can open an AI assistant. It's an integration that uses OpenAI, which is a trend actually. And this, you can just copy the error and AI will give you the response on how you can correct the error you are seeing. So Elastic is helping you also to detect the error in your logs and to correct it. So this is for the dashboards. Now let's go to the rules, since we talked about how we are doing. Let me just, since we talked about how we are doing threat hunting with rules. Okay, just give me a second. I will change my user to avoid having such issue. This one. Maybe this one. Okay, perfect. Okay, so this is what I was talking about, which are the list of Elastic rules. Elastic provide, or the Elastic security theme comes with a set of already pre-built Elastic rules or pre-built Elastic detections. The list, when you click on Elastic rules, you will see the detection rules created by Elastic. Each detection rules, like I said, will match a specific security behavior. Let's say there is an attempt to disable an IP table or firewall. You know what does it mean? Well, this is a behavior, and this is the behavior, this is the description. Means our rule will generate for you a notification if the behavior of attempting to disable IP table or firewall was done in your logs. The query, as I said, is like a search query, but here it's in Elastic query language, means EQL. Here, this is the query, but this query will be scheduled. I mean, each 5 minutes, for example, this is the schedule of the rule. Each 5 minutes or every 5 minutes, this rule will be executed. And this rule, what will do, it will run this search query on the index, logs, endpoint events. If something is matched or if something is matched and we have a result returned after executing this query, the result returned will be displayed for us as an alert, or the alert is the notification that your query matched a result in your data. This is just like this, the easier way, I think, to explain for you how Elastic detections works. In Elastic, you have the ability to use the pre-built detection rules, but you have also the ability to create your own detections. And to create your own detections, you have different types. You can create custom queries. Here they are using KQL, means Kibana Query Language, or Lucene. It's the same query language you use when you run any query in the Discover. You already played with the Discover. At least
I
say yes.
I don't think so.
Okay, so okay, let's show them what is the Discover. Here, as you say, as you saw, as you see, sorry, here this is the analytics section in Kibana. In the analytics section, you have the ability to choose a data view, like you did in the DevTool. When you were doing running any query in the DevTool, what we usually do, we do get the name of our index pattern or the data view. Now we call data view /search, and we define a query inside this in the body of the query, and we will run it, and the result will be displayed in the data in our DevTool window as a document, right? So here it's the same approach, but the language is different. There's small differences, not a lot. Here we will use the same data views we used in the DevTool, but let's select any of the these data views. For example, logs. It's empty. Let's see if we have any other. Okay, no issue. Let's use the default one. Here we have, for example, all the data contained in my index in this interval of time, means today. And if I want to search in those data, I will use the Kibana query languages. It's an easy language, means I will type for the field, the value, and I can run and or conditions just to select the IOCs or the indicator I want to search in my data. You can find the Kibana query language in details in Elastic documentation. And as I said, the Kibana query language syntax you use here is the same Kibana query language you can use when you create your detections. When you try to create a custom detections, let's go back just here. When you try to create your custom query detection, because it used the same language, Kibana query language or Lucene. There is also different types of other types that you can define as a detection. So you can create a detection as event correlation detections. I mean, here it will use the event correlation language. And the event correlation language look like what I showed you previously in this detection rule. This is how the event query language look like. Means it's, for example, it's a sequence. The difference between the EQL and the KQL. The EQL is what we can do with KQL, we can do it with EQL. But with EQL, we have more than that. We have the ability to run to define a sequence. We can define also a time span with milliseconds to say that if this sequence was executed in 1 or 2 seconds or less than 1 second, trigger me an alert. So this is the power. And also we can have like unbreaked conditions in the EQL language. So this is the difference between EQL and KQL. You have also the ability to create machine learning detection rules, but for machine learning, it's another way, since you have to create the job first, then you will just attach the job to your machine learning, because the machine learning will trigger notification, or what we call alerts, based on the anomaly detections generated by our job. We have also indicator match, means I will, for example, put a list of hashes as a text format. I will, or try, let's say, I will index this list of hashes, malicious hashes, and this rule will match if any of my system hashes, any process of my system hashes is or match the one of the hashes listed in this index. If there is a match, it will generate an alert. As the name indicates, it's an indicator match rule. New term will search for a new value added to a specific field. Let's say I'm indexing my logs for 3 months now. 3 months, I didn't see a file that having, for example, test.dll. If test.dll was first time seen in my logs, this detection rule will trigger for me an alert. So this is how this detection is or work. And the threshold is usually used to do aggregations. This is, I will not talk about this one because it's still a beta version, so I will not tell you how this works until we will be sure that it works fine. Let's go back to rules. Yes, so after a rule matches me specific behavior, we will have what we call alerts. So the alerts looks like that. Yes, there is already alerts today. So this is how the alerts, this is the alerts table. And here you can do a lot of, here usually as analyst or as security engineer, we spend most of our time here. Switching between the analyzer and the timeline. The analyzer will display for you the alerts. This is, for example, the process matched or flagged by the alert. And you can see here that we have already the process tree. So I can see here from the analyzer what was the parent and what was the child process, etc. Also, you can open the view details to see why this alert was triggered and what was the indicators that was matched by this detection or by your detection. So for example, here there is something, there is a process executable named clean mgr.exec that was executed in the host desktop by an analyst. So here you will find all the indicators that was the reason behind the trigger of your alert. We have also, as I said before, the cases. The cases are used to group or to group the alerts and to simplify the investigation for the security team. And also there is the possibility in cases to put comments to, it's most of the time used by security teams to interact between them and to keep track about what was done by the previous, for example, analyst that works in the first shift and the second shift, etc. So you have the ability here to add comments, to assign it to someone, for example, to work on it. There is the ability to assign the ticket. Let's say I will assign it to Elastic user, and here there is the ability to add tags, and also you can also define connectors. Means I can define a connector to send me a copy of this case by email, or send a notification to any solution like Slack or Teams or something like that. There is also okay, let's look also to something very important, which is the fleet. Because as I said before, now we are not using bits anymore. So we are using what we call elastic agents. So those agents works like, I have an agent, I will deploy it, and I will define a list of integrations. The integrations, as you can consider it like a set of modules. Like it's the same logic of bits. They have the integration is a set of modules. Each module is a or have a specific role to collect specific type of data, for example, or to do a specific task on your system. But instead of having each log shaper, like for example, winlog bit for collecting winlogs event, etc., file bit for collecting files event, packet bit for network events. Now all those functionalities are defined as integrations, and Elastic, you can install only Elastic agent, define a policy. For example, here I defined an Elastic a Windows policy for my Windows host, and I put this on this policy a lot of integrations. Each type of integration will collect for me a specific type of data that I need to collect. So if I have a database like MySQL database in my machine, I can use the integration for MySQL. There is a lot of integrations. I can show you the integration view, and you can use the integration you need according to what are the solution you want to collect the logs from, or the uh, the type of logs you want to collect. So mainly this is also there is an integration called OS query. It's a type of integrations of Elastic, and this integration helps you to run SQL queries. Let me show you how it works. Let's go to OS query here. I have the ability to run queries with SQL language with the and this the query will request databases created following what I have in my system. There is a restricted number of tables we can have, and you can find them in OS query documentation. And from the UI here, from the OS query UI, you can just define your agent and define the query you want to execute. For example, here, let's select any of our agents. Let's put all to avoid. And here I can do something like select star from user table. There is a lot of tables. I don't know if all the integrations are enabled. So usually, if the integrations, the agents are enabled and working correctly, the list of tables here will be. You will have suggestions for the list of tables you can use, because there is a set of tables you can use and you can request. So this is for OS query. And there is another important integration that I want to show you, which is the Elastic Defend. Well, the Elastic Defend is a separate module that we add. It's the same approach. We will add it as an integration, but this integration can play different roles. Means it can play the role of an antivirus. Mean you can use Elastic Defend as an antivirus. It will, and if you configure it in the prevention mode, let me show you. If you configure it as or in the prevention mode, let's go to here. Here, as you can see, my agent is installed and my integration of Elastic Defend is already added. So here I can define it in both levels. I can put it as a detection in the detection level or in the prevention level. If I define it in the detection level, means I want my Elastic Defend integration to catch the behavior, the malicious behavior, and notify me, but it will not stop it. But if I put it in the prevention mode, means if I have any, for example, malware behavior, there is a lot. There is malware, there is ransomware, there is a memory threat, there is malicious behavior. If there is any, for example, malicious behavior happening in my system, it will block it if it's in a prevention mode, and it will be just, I will just be notified if it's in the detection mode. This integration can be configured as an antivirus, but also can be configured as an event detection response solution. Means I can detect the event, but also interact and respond to the event by isolating the host or running any respond command. Let me show you how you can do it. So here from the endpoint, as you can see, there is a lot of actions. If I define my antivirus or my endpoint solution integration as the endpoint detection response solution or policy, I will have the ability to isolate the host, but also will have the ability to run to open a response console and run any command I want. I know that there is a lot of information. We will not spend a lot of time here. It's just an overview about the security part of Elastic, so you can have an idea about how you can use it. And I invite you to take time to play more with the Elastic security part, because it will helps you a lot to see the capabilities of Elastic. Let's go back to our presentation. We talked about Elastic detection, but we talked more about the Elastic security part in general. There is also the ability to do threat hunting with Elastic threat intelligence integrations. And the threat intelligence integration of Elastic endpoint security and response agent. Here to make it simple, this integration will compare the logs you have with their threat database. You already know MISP. Maybe you don't know MISP, but you know Alien Vault, or Alien Vault. It's similar to VirusTotal. So Alien Vault, Malware Bazaar, VirusTotal, all of them are threat databases available in network, and that you can take an IOC, a request for the reputation of the IOC, and you will have the history of this reputation if it was flagged by previous security vendors or something like that. So the integrations, what they will do, they will just compare the logs you have with their threat database, and if a match was done, your data will be enriched with the information telling you that, for example, this IP was already flagged by a vendor as malicious. And since we talked about Elastic Agent before, so I showed you how the integration, I think now you have a small general idea about the different capabilities of this agent. Well, let's talk also about doing threat hunting with machine learning. So baselining helps the hunter to analyze and understand that what is normal or what is abnormal. Okay, I will not talk about baselines in detail, but environment baselining helps the hunter to understand what normal looks like within an organization. Means if I have my logs ingested and I already have an analyzer or a machine learning job that tells me how this is the normal behavior of your log. If I have the normal behavior, means detecting the abnormal behavior in my logs within, since I have the normal one, will be easy. So this is mainly what baselining means. And enable sophisticated and time-sensitive use cases. Well, baselining with machine learning accelerate the understanding of the environment and minimize the time needed to combine baseline analysis with attackers technique. So this is what I was telling you about, that if I know what is the normal behavior in my organizations, I can easily detect what is abnormal. Well, machine learning features analyze your data and generate model for its pattern of behavior. The type of analysis that you choose depends on the questions or problems you want to address and the type of data you have. Elastic provides you the ability to create your own machine learning jobs or to import external ones. The machine learning jobs you can create can be supervised, means you can use a classifier for that, or a regression, or a regression. This is for the supervised. And for the unsupervised one, you have the ability to create anomaly detections and outlier detections. I'll not explain each subtype, but for the supervised, you need to prepare your data first and label them so the job can understand what you want to teach him. As we all know, the supervised need to be oriented. Now, when we talk about the unsupervised, for the unsupervised, you just need to define the logic of the expected type of anomaly you want him to search in your data, and he will create his own learning base. And most of the pre-built anomaly detections or the pre-built jobs provided by Elastic are anomaly detections pre-built jobs. I can show you a small example about the machine learning side of Elastic. As you can see here, this is a list of pre-built jobs that you can easily import. Just small steps of creation. I can show you right now how to do it. So you will just have to select an index or a data view, let's say, or even here, for example, I used the alert in data view. This is the list of pre-configured jobs that I can use. And as you can see, all of them are anomaly detections. I mean, it's 100% unsupervised machine learning jobs. And you can select what kind of security jobs you want to have. If you want to have Linux security jobs, Windows security jobs, network, or CloudTrail security jobs. It's the proposition of the pre-configured jobs is following the logs that you have in your index. Once, for example, you select, it will give you the list of the jobs that you can import. You can just click on create jobs and they will be created. But here you can, to avoid having some issues with your cluster, because machine learning jobs can consume a lot of resources. So here you can avoid to define or to give the full set of your data for the training of your jobs. You can disable this option and you can define your own time range. Just like this, and you can create the job and the jobs will be imported, and you can start it later. Here, from here, you can click on start data feed and it will start the job, and after that you can use it and see the result of this job. To see the result, you can open here the anomaly explorer, and here those are the results generated by our job. So this is how the machine learning view looks like in Elastic. Let's go back. Okay. Okay, so this is what I was showing you, the different type of pre-configured jobs. And now I'm going to, and this is the phases. So usually this is the phases to create any machine learning job. So it's preparing data, learning phase, testing, then production. Now let's talk about the who knows what this image refer to. Anyone can tell me what this image refer to? The processor, yes, but yes, this is a processor, but this image refer to a specific type of attacks known as living of the land attacks or malwares. Well, this let's explain what is living of the lens attacks. Well, living of the lens attacks means surviving on what you can forage. Living off the land means surviving of what you can forage. Means أنا عندي مالوير ولا تنستالا لي في لا ماشين هذاك المالوير ما يوتيليزيش حوايج جابهم معاه. He will use what we have in the system itself.
Okay.
هاد type of malwares or living off the land cyber attacks operator forage on target systems or for tools. ما يروح يحوس على في السيستم على tools such as operating system components or installed softwares they can use to achieve their goals. ما يقدر يروح لا ماشين تاعي يشوف what he can use as system tools, as system processes, for example, ولا system installer, he will use them to achieve the goal, which is, for example, open external connection, or whatever he wants to achieve. And they can use, living off the land attacks are often classified as fileless. Donc ما عندهمش fileless معناتهم ما همش عندهم ان انستالر باين. there is an installer تاع المالوير باين اللي راح يوتيليزي شي اللي عنده في الباكيج باه يخلص الاكزيكيوشن تاعو. No, it will use what you have in your system. they will not leave any artifacts behind. معناتها ما يخلي لك حتى aucune trace في لي فيشي نتاعك باللي راهو عدى المالوير هذاك ودار ليكزيكيوشن حتى وصل لوبجيكتيف هذاك. So how we will detect them if we have such difficult type of malwares? Currently, in our current time, most of the malwares use this strategy because it helps. So the type of attacks هذا helps a lot to avoid detections. Helps hackers when they create their malwares to avoid a lot the detections already put it in the systems. So most of the new malware, as I said, use the land of attack to perform malicious actions, and security experts find that the best way to detect new malware that use this attacks strategy is having machine learning jobs that are trained and let's say tested on analyzing the sequence of processes execution. Like this, if any small changes in the unusual, for example, sequence occurred, they will not notice that. معناتها, when my job is already trained about not only having the list of processes that are running on a system, he will also trained on the sequence to start this process. For example, means I have CMD that will open, for example, PowerShell will open. A job is trained on the legitimate sequence to execute the process. If my job is trained on knowing the legitimate sequence, he can detect me. It can detect for me when this sequence there is changes in the sequence, because this is usually what living off the land attacks do. For example, he will use CMD executor, which is a legitimate software in my system, but not to open, for example, PowerShell. He will open something else, for example, calculator. He will open it and do other things. This sequence is not a usual sequence that happen in my system. So with a job trained on a legitimate sequence, I can detect what is abnormal or what is new.
But just small question.
Yeah.
Regarding this sequence,
Mhm.
uh, it is defined by the attacker, or this kind of malware will define its own once it has
No,
been.
usually the sequence is defined by the attacker. But
Okay.
since there is daily optimization of the type of malwares we have, so we don't know that, for example, this sometimes we already know that this sequence refers to the specific malware. But if they do a small changes, they change the sequence that this malware will be executed or will execute in your system, you can't catch it. Without
Yeah.
machine learning jobs or something to catch the malicious behavior, we can't.
So the job here at Elasticsearch is to first of all register all the sequences that has been done
Exactly.
in that computer and try to figure out which sequence is from this malware.
Exactly. Well, when we have the normal sequence, Elastic, what he will, the helpful side of Elastic is that he will register for us the sequence, all the sequences, like I show you before. Here, for example, in the alerting, I already, for example, have here in the alert, I already have the view that, for example, this process was executed following this sequence. So already this
Okay.
is already
Mm,
ingested in Elastic.
I
But
see.
Elastic can't, for some cases, Elastic can match. There is a lot of malicious behavior detections that's already defined in Elastic Agent or in Elastic jobs. But there is sometimes some scenarios that he will tell you, for example, this is malicious behavior, but he can't define exactly what was the malware executed.
Okay.
I think that was the last point I was going to cover. So thank you for your attention. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask them.
Yeah,
You can
I
ask me now. And
yeah
yes,
yeah I have some bunch of questions.
yes,
Alors وشفنا حتى لدرك I guess that Elasticsearch in cybersecurity, it requires very little coding. As I have seen you, شغل, you were interacting just with the UI of
yes, yes.
Elasticsearch by doing configuration. So it doesn't mean like لازم نكون very good developers to use or to configure Elasticsearch. What are
No.
the skills? Parce que being like I put myself في بلاصة les étudiants تاع STL.
Mhm.
They are studying, let's say, a lot of artificial intelligence and machine learning stuff and so on.
Yeah.
They still have the chance to be a cybersecurity expert.
Yes, yes.
I guess, yeah.
Well, Elastic still is still a tool. So and Elastic helps us a lot to when you will use it. You don't have to have, let's say, developer skills. No, because Elastic is inboxing all the difficult commands to install to manipulate. And they are moving at the beginning when we started using Elastic, for example, to install it in a system for locally. There is a lot of configuration to do in the YAML file to install it to avoid
Yeah.
the certificate verification, etc. But currently, most of the steps are moved on. We moved from a lot of steps to in the configuration side, so
Yeah,
we
I
can
guess.
use it directly.
Yeah, they just they
And even
created
in the
some.
UI, yes, they need to
Yeah.
learn the query language, and there is a lot of slides and Elastic also documentation is very, I think it's enough. They can refer to the Elastic documentation to learn the query languages. And for the OS query, they can use the SQL language because this is,
Yeah.
and I think to interact with most databases, SQL is a need.
Yeah.
But yes, they don't have learning security is not really related to learning Elastic. Elastic is a tool they can learn Elastic, they can learn Splunk. There is a lot of SIEM solutions. There are Azure Sentinel. There is a lot of solutions that they can use. Security is far from that. And since they are AI students, I think they can work in different type of access, like they can work in development as a developer, they can work in security, because AI is used everywhere, like in security, in operation, in consulting, so
Mm.
they are not limited.
And let's say, Anara, par exemple, I have a company, I would like to put Elasticsearch. First of all, it does only detection. It doesn't fix the problem. دي بيفهموا برك.
No,
صحيح.
it do the prevention, but
Yeah,
for a specific set
prevention,
of
yeah.
behaviors.
It does suggest fixation. شغل يعطيك une
Yeah,
proposition.
for the logs, if we are talking about observability, like logs format, logs analytics, creating visualization to observe the logs. Here we have just the detection. We can see the error where it occurred. And if we want to search the fixes, we can search on internet or in the look to the documentation to
Yeah,
see what was wrong.
yeah,
But
I
for
guess.
the
Yeah.
security side, there is the prevention also.
Yeah, مؤمن, you can disable, تقدر désactiver الميكرو وتهضر directement.
Okay, I have only one question, but before I would like to bestow and give my gratitude and appreciation for having us over and gives us such a delightful opportunity. My question is, like you said before about the Elastic Defend integration, that it only has two types, which are the detect type and the prevent type. So how do we know the malicious virus if we just stayed with the detect form, and how do we deal with it later on?
Okay, perfect. Good question. Well, when we talk about the definition or the configuration of the elastic defend integration, what I was mentioning is that I can have it in the detection or the prevention mode. But when I talk about the detection and prevention mode, I forget about the backside configuration of the agent, because the agent has a set of detections not related to the same detections. There is a set of pre-built detections already integrated in the agent. Means it will take, for example, if I put it in the detection mode, I have a set of detections that will a set of detections for different type of malwares, different type of viruses, different type of ransomwares. But okay, I said when I use the agent in a detection mode, what I was going what I'm going to, or what I'm currently telling my agent is to, even if you notice that there is a virus in my system, don't block it. Let him continue to execute and just inform me. Usually we have that scenario when we use this configuration to test malwares. When we test, we don't want to get this malware blocked. We want to have the full path of the execution of the malware to see if we are correctly detecting it, if there is some gaps. For example, let's say there is a new malware that was publish it, and I want to make sure that my agent is capable of detecting this specific malware. I will put it in the detection mode to see first if he can detect it. If he can, okay, I can move it to the prevention mode. I will move it to the prevention mode. Means that when the malware will start his execution, it will be blocked, and nothing will be occurred in nothing will happen in my system. He will block it and isolate it. This is what the agent will do in the prevention mode. But in the detection mode, he will just tell me that I detected there is something malicious. Do you want? I'm informing you. But if you want to isolate it, change it to change my configuration to the prevention mode. Is it answering your question?
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I maybe have like a last question. It depends on
Yes.
the student. بالك حكمناك بزاف. Sorry for
No,
that.
it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. If it's the
Uh,
weekend, we are okay.
okay. Uh, uh, I know that you have like a lot of private information. So
Yeah.
I'm a little curious to know what type of companies are looking for Elasticsearch detection solutions. They are what type of companies? They are like e-commerce companies. They are banks. They are what type of
There is,
companies? Many.
well, from my years of experience with with my company currently, I can tell you that there is no limit of the type of companies. We had banks, we had small businesses like there is even some how to tell you, like companies um, for let's say for administration services. There is also government systems, or let's say well, it's not really government, but sometimes there is like
I mean, like every solution or every software is connected to the internet requires this kind of detection, I guess.
yeah,
As
yeah,
far as
exactly. Yeah, yeah. We are not limited with let's say the type of business or the type of services provided by the company, since let's say independently of the type of services this company provide, if they have a set of a set of endpoints, for example, and an infrastructure, they can use Elastic to monitor their infrastructure and to have visibility and to secure it.
Yeah, I see. Yeah. Yeah, that's a great. Yeah. It has been like a great presentation. Thank you very much, Bir.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
It was
we
a
hope
pleasure
we
for
can
me.
have you like in the future. Also, I invite Ilham and Kenza also to join in the future sessions, if they want, of course. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, if you don't have any question for the student, I think yeah, it's time to close the presentation. Thank you very much for
Okay,
your
you're welcome.
attendance
Have a nice day and
and
thanks again.
share with us the presentation later on.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, thank you.
You're
Shukran, shukran. Okay,
welcome.
okay.
عفوا.
Salam,
السلام عليكم.
sa, sa,